Hello, second video here, and let me just tell you, wasn't planned. I actually was going to do a video as like a retrospective on Tim Drake's character, and then I got lazy, and it wasn't funny, and I stopped, and I'm sorry, I think, or not, I don't know, sorry to myself. But the Urban Legends #6 came out, and it made him bisexual, and people have lost their lid, gotten really mad, for like apparently no reason, I guess, because it's been hinted at before tons of times. Check out these two books, Young Justice and Teen Titans. Both really prominent teen books with, I don't know, holy fuck, dude. Robin's in both of these with Superboy. And they kiss. Okay, no, they don't kiss. But like, yeah, they're best friends in Teen Titans, but there's a lot of heavy subtext. And I'm not sitting here as someone who's part of really the LGBTQ plus community, and I can't really speak on like how I personally feel towards these things. I'm a straight man, and you know, my opinion on these matters already isn't as important as somebody in the community. I want to put this out there because I've been reading this character for close to 20 years, and I've always considered him to be a character that reflects the audience. Depending on who you are, that may change obviously, but it's easy for a young teen boy to put themselves in Tim's shoes, and that's why he's a really relatable character. And just because he wants to kiss some boys, it doesn't make him unrelatable. Like, first off, Young Justice. That series, him and Connor aren't really friends most of it. Like, they don't really like each other. And everyone talks about, oh, they're so close. Yeah, so this stuff where they're talking, you guys are taking it out of context, man. They're just being boys, you know, boys being boys. These boys aren't just being boys. They're doing some boy stuff, but it's a little different. Alright, but like, seriously, there's a lot of subtext to it in Peter David's series. Yeah, they're not really even friends, so when there's a nightmare scenario and fear dream sequence for Tim about, oh, what's the worst thing that could happen? It's Connor being ripped to shreds in front of him. He says, no, I'll do anything. Stop, just don't do that. Which is wild because if it's any other type of panel where someone's kidnapped, he wouldn't give up and say, I'll do anything. So if it's Connor, kind of weird. In a good way. And like I said, they're not even fucking friends. Like, so this really comes out of nowhere in some sort of ways. And at this point, he's dating Stephanie. So that's some pretty heavy subtext. And I don't think that's reading into it too much. Like, oh, if they're best friends or whatever, and their relationship's as strong as could be, and, you know, we could do it together, we're best pals. They're not. In this book, they're not right now. They fight all the time, and not like you fight with your brother because you love him. They're not brothers. They don't have this relationship. They're at odds through most of this book. You'd think from, I don't know, John's Teen Titans. Uh-oh. You'd think from John's Teen Titans, because they're really close friends at this point, that they've always been like this. They haven't. In Young Justice, they're not like this. It's very, very different. And in John's Titans, there's also a lot of heavy subtext. There's a lot of times where he's saying things like, oh man, you know, we'll do anything because we're friends. And Tim says nothing for a full panel, looks down and goes, friends, you're smarter than you look. What? Like, that's barely subtext, man. Like, that's really in your face. And I'm not saying Johns is gonna go on and make Tim gay, or this is like planting the seeds for the next step, but it is subtext. Like, it is in there. All forms of literature have subtext. Movies, TV shows, books, comics, especially. When you have so many people working collaboratively on an issue or on a series, a lot of things get thrown in there, and there's a lot of heavy subtext. And you can't just deny it because you didn't pick up on it. Really pay attention to the books. It's there. You could say, hey, I was reading this recreationally and I wasn't picking up on any of this stuff. That's cool. People read recreationally all the time, and I'm not telling you have to pay more attention to your comic books. But you can't tell me it's not there. That's kind of the big problem. It is there, regardless if you like it or not. Another dilemma people talk about is, oh, they're making all of our characters gay. We're changing everything. Oh, it's just like Bobby Drake. Listen, if you like Iceman being gay, that's cool. If you wish Iceman was never changed and he was completely hetero, that's cool. I'm not talking about this right now, but those situations are not comparable. Tim Drake has had subtext in his books planted for him for thinking more about certain friends. That is what it is. So if those seeds are planted, don't just tell me that they haven't done anything before and it comes out of nowhere. If you're not picking up on it, that's fine, cool, but that's your fault, really. Like, it kind of is. I'm sorry. And I don't want to sit here and be told, well, you don't read the books, man. You don't even... Yeah, I'm going to get that commissioned because I don't read the books. I'm going to own a whole bunch of Robin, Nightwing stuff because I don't really read the character. I've read everything to do with his solo series, all of his solos, all of his team books. The only thing I haven't read is every issue of Batman he's in. I've read a lot. I've read a whole lot. Don't tell me I don't know the character. And don't tell me, well, you're just self-inserting, dude, because you're part of the fucking problem. I'm a straight man. Like, I'm not self-inserting. I just can read. And to a lot of people that are part of that community, that are seeing themselves in this character, that's because he's relatable. And a lot of the struggles he goes through in his books are relatable for people in the community. And that's cool. And if they have this as a character that they can compare themselves to and see, he has the strength to do this, I'm going to do it. When the book came out, I saw someone come out and say, you know what, now I have the strength to admit that I'm bisexual. Why are you going to shit on that? Like, that's not cool. It's not counteracting his history. It's not changing anything to do with the fundamentals of his character. It's doing nothing but say, hey, he's fucking cute. I know the big thing that people are mad about is Stephanie. People are mad because, well, if he's out kissing all these boys, when's he gonna get time to kiss Steph? Oh, I'm not fucking writing his book. Oh, he doesn't have a fucking book. Like, that's the first problem. Give him a book, dude. Give him a solo. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Really? But second of all, I love him and Stephanie. Out of all the couples in DC, they've got to at least be in my top 3. They're so cute together. His Robin solo, where with him and her together, that shit's adorable. Like, yeah, I want them to be endgame, but this type of storytelling with comics doesn't have really an endgame most of the time. He's not just going to turn 32 years old, get married and have kids, and then say, yeah, I think that's enough for me today. No more Robin. So, that's not happening. So let's think about this. Yeah, so they're broken up now. And does that suck? Yeah. I'm not even saying I like the storytelling in this book that much, but it's not the idea that's bad. I just think the execution could use some tweaking. What I would do personally is I'd have him realize who he is, go to Steph, realize he freaked out because he's seeing things in a different light, and that he wasn't sure about himself. And have her go up to him and say, it doesn't matter what you think or how you question yourself, I still love you, and we could do this together. And then they form an even stronger bond, and he accepts himself even more because the person he loves also accepts him. And that relationship is even tighter. Isn't that fucking cool? Yes, it is cool. Okay, don't even question it. If you say no, you're kind of an asshole. And then where do we go from here? Anywhere. Like, that's fixed. None of his history with Stephanie is invalidated. Like, they're still together. They could have a lot of fun. Or don't go that way. Develop your own story. Have Bernard stick around. I don't care. Yeah, I want him and Stephanie together in the end, but it's not the end. Take your time if you have to. Don't take too much, please. I'm going to be a little sad. But making someone bisexual doesn't mean the person that they've shown to love in the past doesn't exist. Especially in a narrative structure. Like, that's dumb to think. Last point I want to talk about is people are saying it's out of character. You know, Tim Drake is so sure of himself and he would never second guess himself. This is dumb. You didn't read his book. You didn't. His entire book is about, I don't think I deserve to be Robin. Or, I don't think I want to be Robin. I don't know how this affects me personally. I don't want to lie to my dad. What am I going to do about this? I don't know if I should date Ariana because Stephanie's cute as fuck. I don't know how I feel about all these things. All this culminates in issue number 25 of Nightwing. Great issue. You know, it's just some brothers talking, having some fun, on top of a train, like brothers do. But he's just chatting about who he is, how he feels, and everything he's talking about he's not certain of. That's his character. Everything he does is uncertain. The whole point of Robin, which is talked about in this book, is that they look like they know what they're doing, but they don't. It's a facade. They seem like the strong, silent type, but in their head they're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, fucking up. I'm shaking stuff, whoops. And like, it's just not who you think he is if you think this man's always planned and calculated. The closest thing you ever really get to that is in his series, Red Robin. In this issue, the man is so sure of himself, he's stubborn. And that's out of character for him, realistically, but that's the whole point of that book, is that he's adamant Bruce is alive, and that he's gonna fix everything, he's gonna solve it. That's his character flaw in the book that he has to get over, so when the rest of the series continues, he isn't as stubborn. He isn't just trying to say, I'm always right, I know this, I'm gonna do this, because when he does do that, he becomes part of the League of Assassins, kind of fucked up. But yeah, you know, he's like this. He's always been like this. Reread his book, pay attention, you'll see, oh shit, really not that weird. And yeah, that's kind of all I had to talk about. Like, I think this is a little bit easier to discuss than going through every issue of Robin, and Tim Drake's probably my third favorite character of all time. I love him, he still means a lot to me, and you know, getting a couple pecks from some boys or mixing it up in the bed with other guys is not going to change that. And if it changes it for you, you need to evaluate how much you really respect this character. Because picture this as being one of your friends, and say you always thought you knew who he was, and he always talks to me about everything. And then he comes out, and you're like, what? No, you're not. What the fuck are you doing? You can't do that. Yes, obviously, it may come out as a little bit weird or different to you, but it is what it is. And just picture it like a friend, being honest with you, being their true self, and just see how the stories go from here on out. I'm not saying every book is going to be written pristinely because of this change. I'm not. But I am going to say this idea is not nearly as bad as you think it is, and really take time to evaluate him as a character and think twice about casting any type of arguments like, this is dumb, it's out of character, fuck these writers. Come on. Let's all be adults. And yeah, that's going to do it, I guess. Thanks again, and hopefully the next video is going to be a little bit more change of pace and not me ranting about dumb shit. So, thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.